Many first-time home buyers forget about closing costs, when in actuality, this is one of the main things that you must take into consideration. Stay tuned as I go over what is closing costs and what are some of the fees associated with closing. Stay tuned. Welcome to episode 9 of PKR. Today we're going to be talking about something that I have a lot of persons asking me about, closing costs. What is it? What it's about? But before we move forward, what I want you to do is, if you're watching me on YouTube, I want you to click the subscribe button, the same red button there. If you're watching me on Facebook, I want you to like this page. If you're watching me on LinkedIn, I want you to connect with me. If you're watching me on Instagram, I want you to follow me. Also, I have a disclaimer about closing costs. All closing costs is not the same. You never find the closing costs that's the same. Okay, everyone is unique. It's different. And then some negotiations happen that changes some things with closing costs. But what I want to go over is the basics of closing costs, which you would find within a real estate transaction. So one may ask, what is closing costs? Closing costs is the fees that goes beyond the down payment. Certain things such as attorney fees and different stuff, I'll go more into it as we move forward. So as I mentioned earlier, closing costs is the fees that you pay beyond the down payment. Now, one may ask, what are some of the fees associated with closing costs? So some of the basic fees that you may find with closing costs is attorney fees. As you know, when you purchase real estate here in the Bahamas, every real estate transaction usually must go through a real estate attorney. Okay? And the real estate attorney fees are usually 2.5%. But like I say, it's different transactions, different fees, but it's usually around 2.5%. And the seller pays 2.5%, and the purchaser pays 2.5%. Okay, everybody pays the legal fees unless a negotiation is done and something else happens and you negotiate, your real estate agent negotiates something else. Secondly, stamp tax. This is another fee that you would find within most closing costs. Actually, all closing costs, this is paid to the government. Stamp tax is 10%, and stamp tax is divided between buyer and seller. So the buyer pays 5%, the seller pays 5%, unless a negotiation is done and something else transpires within that, and you agree to something else. And you'll also find another basic closing cost you'd find is a real estate fee. So if you're using a real estate agent or a brokerage or a real estate broker to sell your home as a seller, you would have a real estate fee that you would pay for the services that is rendered by the real estate company that you use. And like I say, the real estate fees, it depends on what you negotiate, what goes on with you and that brokerage firm. And also what I want to interject in here is we don't want to forget VAT. VAT is paid for goods and services within a real estate transaction. So say for instance, the attorney fees. The attorney fees, you pay VAT on that because that's a service. Real estate fees, you pay VAT on the real estate fee because that's a service that's rendered. Okay? So VAT is paid on goods and services within the transaction. Just to recap, some of the basic closing costs that you would find is 1, attorney fees, 2, stamp tax, and 3, real estate fees if you're a seller. Okay? If you have any questions about closing costs, you're about to purchase or you're about to do a transaction, reach out to me and I can assist you. If you are using somebody else, just ensure that you know what your closing cost is so you can make sure you have that set aside when you're about to close. Join me again on episode 10 next week as I go over HOA and what are some of the fees associated with HOA. It's going to be an exciting topic. See you next time. Stay tuned.